Well, my question is what mountain biking is. We often take it for granted, but is it so obvious what mountain biking is? What is a mountain? There is no universal definition what mountain is. It often depends on the local usage. With quantitative measures, it's often used its height, its volume, or other attributes. For instance, these are a few first hints on one of the search providers on the internet using keyword mountain. What is a bike? Bike is a synonym for bicycle. Both two major web encyclopedias say a pretty similar thing. It needs a human to pedal, it has two wheels, and has a frame. It is a single track machine. And these are first few hints entering bike on the internet search engine. Well, it just happened that with technological process and what we are doing led to that society is organized a bit different. So led to automation and working processes were optimized in different ways. And this led to greater individual leisure time, even though that a lot of you are today here as a work time, but we are discussing a leisure time activity. So this is what happened in the 70s in California and Marin County. A couple of guys, different initiatives, started to push their pre-Second World War bikes up the mountain and riding it down the fire escape roads. And not in 50 years, this is what we have today, with all the technological advance that was done. So these are all mountain bikes. They are all sold as mountain bikes, from cross-country riding style to all-mountain riding styles. I will explain this a bit earlier, to downhill freeride, dirt, e-bikes, you name it. I will briefly go through what is on the, let's say, world level competed as mountain biking. And we'll take a quick glimpse at 3 different world associations. One is the International Cycling Federation. These are all the disciplines of mountain biking that are competed. One is the cross-country, the Olympic discipline, endurance race, a lot of pedaling uphill. Another one similar is cross-country marathon, a bit longer as well, a lot of pedaling uphill and endurance. The next one is the downhill, the gravity discipline at high speeds, a lot of trail technical features on the trails like rock gardens and routes and stuff like this. Another one is gravity oriented is 4-cross, similar to ski cross with Filip Flisar in Slovenia. And just recently, a couple of years ago, the cross-country eliminator, a short sprint stage oriented race competing against each other, similar to, for instance, cross-country skiing sprint in winter. Growing in popularity is the enduro, the competitive way of all-mountain riding style under the Enduro World Series on the world level. The essence of enduro is to pedal uphill and to go downhill. So it is an endurance stage race, but time that counts and that is measured is only those with downhill sections. And heavily promoted, gains a lot of media attention with is the Freeride Mountain Bike World Tour with these disciplines, with the dirt jump being exactly what dirt jumping over piles of dirt and being airborne and doing tricks, similar with slope style and big air, just bigger gaps and bigger jumps over the piles of dirt, and Red Bull Rampage, big mounting, like riders building their own trails and doing really crazy stunts in Utah, in United States. So we've seen what is competed as mountain biking. So we'll take a quick look what is sold as mountain biking. I've taken 4 brands present here in Slovenia and grouped their offer into these riding styles: cross-country, all-mountain, downhill freeride, gravity, and those 3 different others, dirt e-bikes and fat bikes. And as you can see, the majority of offer is on the cross-country and all-mountain riding style. Another thing is to be said, mountain biking is as any other consumer product these days. There are huge numbers of everything. The below number is the sum of all the offer. So this is not the sum of the different models, but different versions of these models. And 38 and 119 means that on their web pages, 119 mountain bikes are sold as unique products, so like huge number. Another thing that I would like to point out is there are different expressions with different producers used for similar bikes. For instance, with cross-country, well, yeah, there are a lot of XC is the abbreviation of the cross-country. With all-mountain, there is a lot of mentioning trail. We'll see a bit later why, perhaps. And downhill and freeride, a lot of gravity. In 2014, with a colleague, we did a survey with Slovenian mountain bikers, their riding styles, where do they ride in natural setting, etc. And this is one of the questions. We ask riders, what kind of mountain bike do you own? And the majority of riders own cross-country or all-mountain bike. Just a little over 1/5 even owns more than one bike. Another question was, in the last year, have you participated in any type of organized event, and what kind of organized event? These are listed, just few that are in Slovenia present. And a large majority of bikers didn't participate in any of organized events. So this is another aspect of mountain biking community that has to be taken into consideration. Another question was, in which part of natural setting this being roads excluded? So which part of the natural setting do you prefer to ride and how often? And we ask, for instance, dirt roads, those are for timber production in forest, single tracks in the forest made by humans for hiking, or deer tracks, signposted mountain trail for hiking, or dirt road in the agricultural land. So the majority of bikers said that single track forest is something that they very often or always ride. So it seems that in mountain biking, it's all about single track, single trail, you name it. If I go to, when we say about natural setting and about single track being something that is searched by the bikers, we come to the legal issue of mountain bike access to these parts of general setting. Things in Slovenia are a bit complicated. There are at least 3 different laws on the national level that regulate in a certain way this mountain bike access. But we can group this into 2 different principles. One of them being generally legal, this meaning that it is legal to ride on, but landowner has the option to forbid it, this access. Another one being generally not legal, meaning it is not legal, but under different procedures, it can be legalized to ride on these different parts of natural settings. And you can see single track in the forest and that mountain trail being generally not legal. I'm not discussing here the purposely built mountain bike trails in bike parks or trail centers. I'm talking about natural setting as such, something that is already existing. Well, I was curious what about other European countries? Are we really that different, or do we really have these difficult situations? And I did a brief survey with other mountain biking advocacy groups in Europe, an online survey, and afterwards short interviews. And I asked them, how are you satisfied with legal regulations, with existing strategies for fostering mountain biking development, with existing sustainable funds for building trails, for maintaining trails, and so on. And this I gather in this mean value. And as you can see, quite few European countries are facing the same problem as we in Slovenia, that are not satisfied with the current mountain bike access in their countries. One of the reasons this mountain bike access is that a few years ago we established the Slovenian Mountain Biking Development Consortium. It's an initiative rather run by enthusiasm, but nevertheless the name is Odprimo poti.si. Translated into English it would mean open trails. And there are up to now already 14 different stakeholders, from associations, NGOs, regional development agency, tourism, supporting offices, and so on. And what we are doing is we are discussing and proposing solutions on the national, regional levels to the policymakers. What could be done to make this mountain bike access better for the community, tourism, etc. in Slovenia. And what we are basically doing, again, I'm trying to group things to make it a bit easier to understand. We are trying to clarify these two stereotypes. Not all mountain biking that goes downhill is downhill. Downhill is a specific discipline on a specific trails needing specific infrastructure. And another one, mountain biking today is something far more than just riding on the gravel roads. As I said, mountain biking is far more than that. And for understanding this, we needed to regulate, and we are aware that we need regulations, but we're just saying that these regulations should be done in a different way, and that we as a society would gain much more out of this. This is one of the reasons why, with colleagues from Alliance, we are this year organizing first trail building weekend in Slovenia. Is the first weekend of sharing knowledge, experience in designing trails, gaining legal permissions, maintaining trails, gathering funds, and so on. And we are glad to say that we are already booked with places. So to conclude, what is mountain biking? It's a popular activity. It has recreational, sport, and economic component, and important for the society. And I will just borrow these few words from Simon, saying, what is mountain bike? Well, it's just like any other bike. It rolls. Yeah? You have to pedal it to go uphill. Well, forget about e-bikes. We won't go into that field. It's just too complicated to discuss. But it flows on its own on downhill. But what really makes a bike a mountain bike is a biker and a mountain bike. So mountain bikers' expectations, desire, motivation, and the technology that it has. So that's all. Thanks.